Hello, back to my channel. I'm All Things Wrestling, and today I'm going to give my comments, opinions, and the results of WWE Raw, 31st of October 2016, the Halloween special. We start the show with Goldberg making his way down to the ring. He mentions Brock Lesnar's name and then says 3 weeks. Paul Heyman comes out, makes his way to the stage, and then starts coming down the entrance ramp while announcing himself. He says his client is not appreciative of your chanting the name Goldberg. He says on the record that you're pissing him off. Then he says he has all the respect in the world for Bill and his abilities, and says he is not a physical threat to Goldberg. That is why he is somewhat comfortable of his client's request for him to step in the ring with Bill. He says, "You don't think I didn't come here tonight without any significant backup, did you?" He then says he will probably going to make Bill very happy now. He's probably going to make all you happy now. He'll probably make Bill Goldberg's family happy because he says his client is not only a beast but an impatient beast. Points puts out that Bill is 1-0 with his client. What a streak. However, his client is known for ending streaks. Just ask The Undertaker. And then he says his client is not going to wait until November the 20th. He's not going to wait until Survivor Series. He wants to face Bill right here, right now. Paul gives to everyone the Beast, the Conqueror, Brock Lesnar! And then his music plays and then Paul starts laughing because Brock is not actually here. And then he says to Bill and everyone, "Gotcha." Paul says, "Look at the look of disappointment on your son's face, Bill. Look at the disappointment on your son's face. It will be nothing compared to when you are beaten, destroyed, and defeated by Brock Lesnar." Rusev makes his way down to the ring. Rusev asked Goldberg, "Who do you think he is?" And he says, "I know your name," as the crowd starts doing the Goldberg chant. He says he knows you call yourself Goldberg and you think you're a hero. Rusev said that Goldberg does not have it anymore. He says you are not a superhero because there's no such thing as a superhero. You have not been in this ring in a very long time. Rusev says he watched Bill throw people around back in WCW. You had 2 moves, the jackhammer and the spear. Those moves require strength and explosiveness. He said he does not think he has it. You have the heart to fight when you're beaten down to the ground. Rusev says he does not think he has either. It's easy to trash talk about people who are not here. Rusev tells everyone that Brock is not here. Rusev says he is here and he is a super athlete. Rusev says he sees Goldberg shaking and that means he is afraid. Rusev said that when he sees someone's afraid, Rusev crush. Rusev punched with Goldberg and Goldberg just kind of like stands there and turns and acts like it didn't hurt. And then Rusev tries for another. Goldberg blocks. They get into a little scrap. He did fall over in this scene. It was quite funny. And then he had to get just fit and hit a jackhammer. And then he spears Heyman, which was a kind of weak-looking spear, but give the guy credit. His first spear he's done in a very long time. That segment was really, really good. I like how they made Goldberg do a jackhammer to Rusev. And then take out Paul Heyman because that's going to piss Brock Lesnar off even more and add more hype onto the match. I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of torn between whether I think it's going to be good or not. Anyway, then we go to Enzo and Cass coming down to the ring dressed like characters from Toy Story. Enzo says that he got a loss last night. They are back tonight because Big Cass has his back. Enzo tells Cass that he has a friend in need. This is a trick or street fight. They are not handing out candy. He calls them a couple of suckers. Enzo says he is giving a beatdown to infinity and beyond. Colin says he wants to know if Gallows has the malted milk balls to go toe to toe with Zoe. Asks if Gallows only has candy corn down there. Then we have Enzo Amore versus Luke Gallows in a trick or street fight. The win happened when Colin put a pumpkin over Gallows' head and then Enzo with a DDT off the turnbuckle for the 3 count. It was an alright promo and segment and match. Not too bad. Then we see an ambulance taking Paul Heyman out of the arena. Then we have a Brian Kendrick backstage thing. Brian says that at Hell in a Cell he showed everyone that nice guys like TJ Perkins are always going to finish last. It would not be nice to call all of you suckers. Not one of you should have believed that he needed someone to help him win. That was psychology and mind games. Brian says he knew he would work on TJ's sympathies. He brought up all of the favours that Brian did for him and he knew that TJ would crack. It was an opening he needed. Tonight TJ gets his rematch and you are all fired up and determined. He says he hopes TJ has a plan to win the title back because Brian says he has a plan to keep it. Then we have the TJ versus Brian Kendrick. It was a good match again. Perkins takes Kendrick over the top rope with a Rana. Perkins gets back in the ring, and then Kendrick refuses to get back in the ring and just takes a count-out loss. After the match, Perkins attacks Kendrick and applies the knee bar on the floor. Did Perkins just turn heel there? I do not know. Then we have Mick Foley talking in the back to someone about The Walking Dead. Braun Strowman turns up and tells Foley he wants to be part of Team Raw at Survivor Series. He has destroyed 2 men and he has destroyed 3 men. He tells Foley he knows what he can do. He wants real competition, and he said he'll destroy half of Foley's roster if he doesn't do it. Mick says you can make threats and they're working. However, threats are no good for the rest of the roster. Mick says there will be a battle royale to determine who joins Team Raw. Mick Foley makes his way out to the ring. Mick says last night Raw had a hell of a night. A new Cruiserweight champion, a triple main event, the first ever Hell in a Cell match with women. I think that's meant to say. My notes don't say that. Mick says he is proud of everyone except Chris Jericho and his best friend, the Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. While everything they did was technically legal, it left a bad taste in his mouth. Kevin Owens comes out and then Chris Jericho's with him. Kevin asks Mick to elaborate about what left a bad taste in his mouth. Is it that Kevin is still the champion, not Mick's number 1 draft pick? Maybe his best friend outsmarted you and everyone else to get in the cell. Kevin says he knows what it is. He says it's because Kevin is one to make history because he stole the show in the main event. He was the first to successfully defend the Universal title in Hell in a Cell. Last night was the Kevin Owens show, whether you like it or not. To be fair, he did steal the show. Chris says instead of chastising them, you should be kissing his feet because he knows how a team works and how they can work for Team Raw. Mick says he needs them on Team Raw. Kevin repeats what Mick said, and Kevin says that you do need them. They are 2 of the top guys on Raw. He said it is killing Mick that he needs him. He is jealous because last night in his first Hell in a Cell match, he walked out a winner. Mick made his name in Hell in a Cell matches as a loser. Chris mentioned that Mick lost 4 Hell in a Cell matches. Kevin pointed out that the last time Mick lost was, Chris then pointed out, Stinky Hartford, Connecticut, which is the place that we're in. Mick says that Kevin has talent to win matches on his own. He walked out a winner, but he could have walked out a legend. Mick said that Kevin made a mockery of the cell. Chris asked if Mick is jealous because Chris locked the cell and tore the key around his finger. Chris said it was the key of Jericho and he tells Mick to lock it in. Mick says you have to check your ego at the door to become a general manager. Mick says that Stephanie did not want both of them, just Kevin. Stephanie wanted to suspend Chris on the spot. If anyone was smart and deviant enough to do what he did in Hell in a Cell, they should be devious and smart enough to win Hell in a Cell. Mick says he needs another guy, but not any guy, the guy. Then Roman Reigns comes out, and I do have a bit more respect for this guy now. Roman wants to know why Chris and Kevin are not happy to see him, and he thanks Foley for having confidence in him. Roman calls Kevin and Chris SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick. Chris asks Roman why he isn't wearing a costume, and Roman says he would have. This is a stupid idiot, but there were no more Chris Jericho costumes. I actually liked that joke. Chris says that Roman knows what happens to people who insult him on Halloween. They don't go on the list. Roman does not deserve to be on the list. No one tonight deserves to be on his list. Chris says that Roman is not worthy of being the United States champion. Chris says he is from Canada and he hates the United States, but he would be a better United States champion than Roman's. Roman says Roman is 100% correct. Chris says he could take the title if he wanted. Chris says Roman is probably too beaten up after last night's match, he probably couldn't compete. Roman says his body is being up, but he would never pass up an opportunity to shut Chris's mouth. Mick then makes the match official for tonight. Then we had the Battle Royale. Early on in the match, Braun Strowman got eliminated through the middle rope, so he wasn't out, and then you had a few spots, and then it got left down to Zayn and Strowman. Zayn tries to get Strowman over the top rope, but Strowman recovers and sends Sammy to the floor. And he is on Team Raw. Then we go backstage, and Big E is dressed a member of the Nation of Domination, and then Xavier is dressed like Papa Shango, and Kofi is dressed like the Godfather. I absolutely loved all them costumes and all the references. It was amazing. Kofi said they had a real tough night last night. Kofi said he does not want any Walking Dead spoilers. They suffered a loss of Francesca too. Big E wants a moment for Francesca too. Xavier says he got a call and her sister is coming soon. Kofi said that they need to look at Survivor Series. Kofi said they are the captains of the tag team match. Big E says the Power of Positivity will face. Xavier says they do not watch SmackDown. Kofi said that they need to scout the tag teams on SmackDown. Rhino is later the champions. Big E said the Power of Positivity versus Cheese and Crackers. They talk about the Hype Bros and they don't get booty. Kofi says that they are all doing type of tomfoolery on SmackDown. Big E mentions the Ford villains, Breezango and the Usos. Xavier says American Alpha is sick and they do not have anything bad to say about them. Big E says their team shall overcome. Then we had match 4, another 6-man tag for the Cruiserweights. Rich Swann, Lince Dorito and Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak, Tony Nese and Daivari. Swann with a round kick and a jackknife to cover for the 3. It was alright. Again, I don't know why they're just gooing the Cruiserweights. Here are all your Cruiserweights. They've now become the new women, haven't they? Then Charlotte says last night she single-handedly made history walking into the first woman Hell in the Cell match. She walked out the 3-time women's champion. The biggest mistake of Sasha Grey was getting off that stretcher. She tells Sasha to pull herself up from the hospital bed because there's nothing wrong in losing. She says Sasha brought out the best in her. She tells Sasha that she's like everyone else in WWE. You are playing second place. Charlotte says she will captain Team Raw to victory over Team SmackDown. She says she knows that Nikki is the captain. She's given her warning. She put Nikki on the shelf for 1 year, and if you get in her way, she'll put Nikki on the shelf forever. She's the best in the business because this title means it. She tells Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss and Carmella to pay attention. Charlotte says that they have potential for weak links in her team. The hugger, the high fiver, Bayley. Charlotte says that she wants to address her. Bayley comes out. Bayley says she does not know why she called her out, but she's glad Charlotte did. Last night, you and Sasha gave her goosebumps and made her emotional. In NXT, the thought of competing at that level was a dream, but you two made it reality. Bayley congratulated Charlotte on a win. Charlotte said she would say thank you while you were dreaming of all this. Charlotte was achieving all of this. Bayley tells Charlotte she has known her for years and she says that success has gone straight to her head. You have been the biggest jerk and she will never want to be a champion like Charlotte. Charlotte says you'll never be a champion like her because Bayley will never be her. When you realise this isn't NXT anymore, Charlotte says she does not know if she sees a competitor or a glorified fan wearing a Halloween costume. A team is only as strong as its weakest link. Let's see how strong you are when you face her Survivor Series teammate. Bayley says Charlotte wants to put her in another match with Dana Brooke, but Bayley has already beaten Charlotte's protege. Charlotte says you won't be facing Dana, you'll be facing Nia Jax. Nia Jax versus Bayley. Alright match. Bayley goes with a boot, but Nia hits a Samoan drop for the 3. Then we had Sheamus and Cesaro versus Epico and Primo. Primo comes off the turnbuckle into a European uppercut from Cesaro. Sheamus gets Epico to tap out with the cloverleaf. Another match. At least they got a win. I think they're planning to keep him for the next few months anyway. Then we had the Chris Jericho versus Roman Reigns for the title. Jericho leaps into a Superman punch. Reigns sets up for the spear and he hits it. Owens breaks up the cover and the referee calls for the bell for the disqualification. Kind of weird to end it in a disqualification, but I guess it made both men look strong, I guess. After the match, Owens attacks Reigns. Jericho punches Reigns as well. Owens picks up Reigns and sets up for the pop-up powerbomb, but instead it's an alley-oop codebreaker. Seth music plays and runs in and punches Owens to the floor and hits Sling Blade on Jericho. Rollins with a few suicides dives onto Owen. Rollins with a springboard knee to the temple of Jericho. Rollins with the super kick to Jericho's midsection and then he tries for a pedigree, but Owens pulls Jericho out of the ring. Roman Reigns gets up and sees Seth in the ring and he's quite confused. Did we just possibly see a reunion of The Shield soon? I would not say no, because they're turning him face, so there's no reason why we can't have it. Anyway, this was a better Raw than I was expecting for a Halloween edition, to be honest. There was a few alright matches, to be fair. It weren't too bad. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you later.